Welcome back to the NITE Economics YouTube channel, and today we're going to be looking at various assets in the market. So again, if you're liking the content, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and let's get into the video. So we're going to start here by looking at crude oil here on the monthly. Let's turn off this guy over here. So you could see that, let's turn this back on. So you could see that it's pulled back a little bit. So you have this high here, here on the monthly you have this high, and it's gonna start developing a lower high. I still think it has quite a lot of space, a lot of breathing room, if you will. I think it could come down significantly more from where it currently is. It could come down all the way down to the 5 exponential moving average, which is a likely target. So it's right now sitting at 81.76, $81 more or less 76 cents, somewhere between there and the 21 exponential moving average, which is the yellow one, which is currently sitting at 72.21. So somewhere in between there, it could come all the way down there. It could even come quite a bit lower than that, really, because the last lower high, I mean, this wasn't there. This is a breakout, and now it's making a lower high, but it could come down quite a bit from where it currently is, and I would still be pretty bullish on oil. Like if you have seen my previous videos, you know why I'm bullish on oil. So I pretty much hit that original target of hitting about 28% from this low, more or less. But I don't think that's where it's gonna end, because this trade, on the 2-week. This cross just happened officially here, and these trades usually make at least a 28% move to the upside. And made a little bit more, 28% move to the upside from the low, essentially, from when the cross happens. So and it takes about approximately on the short end about a year for that to play out. So this is just started. This is a long-term move. And my long-term bullish on oil my long-term look on oil is still super bullish, with some medium to short-term downside. Like I said, somewhere between on the monthly, somewhere between the 5 exponential and the 21 exponential moving average. And now that we look at it, we actually have a silver cross to the upside on this one as well too. So I think in the long term, it has some very bullish, very bullish things going in the favor for oil. And that just happened, actually. That just happened here to start the month of April. So that was I guess we're almost 2 weeks into April now, or we are 2 weeks into April. So that just happened this month. We had a cross to the upside, silver cross to the upside on the monthly. So that is also bullish for oil. So yeah, so just right now, it's just a little bit of a pullback, but yeah, it still has a lot of room to run. It's probably a good area to get in if that's what you want to do. Now let's take a look at gold. So again, we're looking at this target. We haven't talked about gold in a while. It hasn't been in the forefront in the last 2 months, really. But you could see it had this high, this low, this lower high, lower low, and now essentially back into this pocket over here. And I suspect that it'll make another lower high somewhere in this pocket. Although if it does get above this previous high here, which is of 5,400 more or less, I'll get very bullish on it. Again, I'm not sure which direction gold is gonna go in the short term. I am very bullish on gold in the long term, and by long term I mean into the end of this decade. So for the next 4, 5, 6 years, I see gold being very bullish. But right now the question is, does it create a higher high, which I'm not so certain about that right now, and then break down? And by breaking down, I mean just going lower. I don't mean it's gonna go back down to like these levels down here. I seriously doubt that's gonna happen, but somewhere maybe around this area down here, and it lives in that area for a while before continuing it to run into the end of this decade. But stick around to this channel in the next 5 years and to see if I'm right about my prediction on gold. But again, still gold is fantastic. I mean, dollar costing average into gold, whether that's a derivative stock or some kind of ETF of gold, or actual gold bullion, which is always a good idea to have some as an insurance policy. Is always a good idea to have. Bitcoin here still, looking somewhat bullish. Is still moving to the upside, which is interesting to see here. But we'll see how long this continues for. I am of the idea that Bitcoin will eventually reconnect with this on the weekly, reconnect with the 200 simple moving average at some point in this year. Just the question is when that's going to happen. It's very difficult to say. I do suspect it will likely get rejected here at the 21 exponential moving average here on the weekly, although it could get probably even as high as the 55 exponential moving average, which is sitting at 86,000, almost 87,000 bucks as of right now, and the 21 exponential moving average is sitting at 78,000, almost 500 bucks right now. So somewhere in this pocket, it could get rejected and then move back down. Although if Bitcoin could get back above this high, which was set on the 12th of January, and it's sitting at 97,000, almost 98,000 bucks. If it could get above this on the weekly, I would switch over to becoming quite bullish on Bitcoin. But until that happens, for me, I think it's just this upward momentum that Bitcoin does during bear market. This trend is trending upwards before a bigger drop down. I do think it will drop down to somewhere in this pocket, probably live in there for a while, and then wick down into, this is my base case, wick down somewhere in this pocket, a wick, and then after that happens at some point in this year, then we break out to the new bull market, or its new cycle. Or the bear market will be over for Bitcoin once it reaches into this zone. And again, I think it's only going to wick down for a second, and then, or for like a very short amount of time, then come back up to probably this region here, and then start working its way out of this bottoming area before starting its new bull market. And then lastly here, the S&P 500 SPX. Looking quite interesting here on the monthly, so it's pretty much created new all-time highs. But to me, again, unless it breaks out significantly above these new all-time highs, I think it's back to the same structure of it being pretty much near around the all-time high that was set back in October of last year. Again, right now it's only living about 1.5%, not even 1.5% as of right now. And this is it's April 16th at 12 p.m. European time. By European time, I mean like the time zone in Munich, if you will. So it's 1.5% as of right now. So the markets have not opened in America yet, but we will see what happens when it opens up. I mean, I still think that this has more downside to go, although only time will tell. I do think that this could take a very, very long time to play out. Maybe it comes here, maybe it gets rejected here, comes back down and works its way down, and it just becomes kind of volatile for a while before breaking down. Only time will tell. Again, this is a monthly look. So when we're looking at the S&P 500, it's prudent to look at it on a monthly. I think the 24-hour is good too. The daily is good, but it's yeah. I'm skeptical of this move here, right? Although it could probably run a bit more, but I am still a bit skeptical on it. Although it's had a very amazing recovery, rather quick recovery here. I mean, if we see this cross here on the 24 on the daily here, we see this silver cross to the upside, then maybe it has a bit more room to run. I mean, the BBWP can get quite, it could live in this extreme read zone for a while, and it's just getting there. So we'll see what happens with this, but as of right now, we will see. This one's really hard to say which direction it's going to go. I mean, I was quite bearish before. I'm at least for now. I'm a little bit wrong about it, but again, we got to take our time with this. Something like the stock market could take a very long time to play out. No one's gonna know how long it takes for it to break down, if it even does break down completely, or maybe it just continues up to the upside from here. It's this one I'm less certain about, right? Because it's behaving in a way that's a little bit different, right? I mean, it's not like it did this, or at least it hasn't done this yet. Maybe it's doing something like this, where it came down, comes back up, then down. Yeah, here I'm just pulling at straws at this one, but we will see. Again, like I said before, it's again living near that all-time high period, or the all-time high that was set back in October. And if it doesn't break out convincingly above this number, pretty much, you know, around the $7,000 mark, you know, in the next couple of weeks, I would say it will likely get rejected and break back down to the same levels that we saw here, and possibly even lower, maybe even reconnect with this 21 exponential moving average here on the monthly. And if things get really bad, it reconnects with the 55 exponential moving average on the monthly. But we will see. This one is something that's going to take a long time to play out. By long time, it probably the next month or two to see which direction it really wants to go in. But again, we got to be patient with it. And again, I make these videos not for trading purposes, not for short-term trading purposes, just to give us an idea of which direction the market is heading. I'm also going to go into the direction of making more videos talking about like my opinions on certain things, and talking about different what I want to call it, like different aspects of economics, not just from looking at charts and stuff like that, which can be interesting, but just some other things that could probably help people from a more practical standpoint. I mean, it's interesting to look at charts. It gives you a good direction of, especially understanding direction of which direction the market is going. And obviously right now this is an uptrend. You know, you don't want to be shorting this. So that's good to understand, but also understanding just some more things that your average man does not. It's not day trading or even or long-term investing can really get on board, and just some principles that I feel really helped me. You know, like 10 years ago, if you're at this point, 10 years ago, that really helped me really structure my life and structure my finances, if you will. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. That kind of content is going to be a little bit probably on the slower side to roll out, but again, that's kind of my long-term goal, is to kind of be a channel that helps people kind of understand finances a little bit, and just kind of gets their perspective from somebody that's probably lived in their shoes, you know, from a white collar, not white collar, but a blue collar perspective. I think a lot of people could relate to those ideas, and kind of like my background, and pretty much always been a blue collar kind of guy. So yeah, anyways, stay tuned for that kind of stuff. And yeah, if you're liking the content, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.